Well, good evening, gang, and welcome to It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams, and I'm your host, and we're coming to you live from our beautiful studios here at BNN TV, and you're more than welcome to join us if you'd like. We're at 617-708-3290. There's the number right there. Colin and David, a great staff of BNN, are in the other room answering the phone, so if you'd like to join us and let us know what's happening with you cats out there in your artful endeavors, please feel free to give me a call. I'm running solo tonight. The great Amanda is out on location tonight, so she's not here with us. So please feel free to join in the activity here if you feel like joining us. Big shout out to the city. Big shout out for the tree lighting on Saturday. I was so honored to be asked to host the tree lighting, which I did, and I put the mic in my hand and look out. So it was an awful lot of fun, and working with Aaliyah Forrest is always a great honor. She is the executive director of Rosendale Village Main Streets, and this year, as I was standing up on the stage talking to everybody, the whole park was full. I'm estimating numbers 500 or 600 people. It was a lot of people. And we had some great things going on. There was the Urban Nutcracker was there, and they performed live for the people there, a bunch of different things that they do in their performance over at the Hancock, which you got to go to there. Put in Urban Nutcracker, get some tickets, and go over and see these cats. This was amazing. It was amazing. They came and did it outside for us live. We also had a great choir. Sacred Heart Choir came down and performed when the tree lighting was about to happen with the great mayor of the city, Martin Walsh, was on hand to pull the switch with our good friend Anthony from Sophia's Grotto. It was always great to have Anthony up there helping us out. The Sacred Heart Band came and played. Chris Weiner's, the quartet, brass quartet was there to fill in all the musical ends and stuff. So it was a great event. I want to thank making music matters was there as well. Now there's something they're doing through the community centers, which we're going to get into, by the way, in a little while. We've got two great guys that are doing some amazing things here in the city. They're entrepreneurs. They're starting an app that's going to help people work their way through the community centers with scheduling and all of the different things that are offered to the city. I think it's a great idea, but they're going to be up in a little while, and they're going to talk a little bit about, they've developed this app that can help people with all the information that they need. But back to the tree lighting. It was, like I said, a great honor, but the thing I found the most enjoyable about it was how many families, and we had a lot of kids. Another group from Sacred Heart, the Parents Ambassadors, ran this ornament making table where kids got a chance to make an ornament and hang it on the tree and all of that. So it was a lot of fun. We kind of launched the season, the new season. So it was kind of fun. The other thing that was going on, of course, was shopping small, shop local, which is a big thing in the city where we're trying to get people to spend money in their communities and to use the local mom and pop stores. So, you can always get out to Target, you can always get out to Best Buy and all of that kind of stuff. But if you're supporting your community, which is one of Main Street's main things, is you get an opportunity to kind of talk with, your neighbor. You'll go into a shop and you'll notice that that's the guy that lives down the street. And he has this shop in your neighborhood to sell his wares or give you some kind of service or something. So that was an opportunity. And I have to shout out to the mayor. I have to thank him very, very much, because after he left us, you should have seen him. He came down on a fire truck with Santa Claus, Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus. And they rode down the fire truck down Cummins Highway into Rossi Square. It was kind of cool. It was fun to see. So, but the thing that he did that always that impresses me and shows me that this guy is not just the mayor, but he's also the people's mayor, and he's done a lot of good things. He went into the business district with a schedule, I'm sure, that is incredibly down to the minute, but he took the time to go in and drop in on a couple of the shops in Rosendale Square, bought some flowers, did some stuff. And so it was nice to see him and his staff being part of the community. So I want to say thank you to everybody that had anything to do with that thing. Tom Donahue is the guy in Rosendale behind all of these different events. So thank you to the Boston Main Streets and the Rosendale Village Main Streets Cats, because it was really a lot of fun. Something else that is going on is we're very excited that that there is a call to artists. What I mean by a call to artists, you've heard us have every now and then our program here has a featured arts group or a featured art gallery, and it's right outside of these studios in the main hallway on the second level of Boston Neighborhood Network. There's a gallery out there, and there's a call to artists, and I have been given the very pertinent information to share with you. It's a call to artists. The theme is going to be Winter in New England. So if you're a photographer or a painter and you've got framed work that you'd like to have exhibited here and also featured here on BNN TV's It's All About Arts, we're going to be having that. The exhibit's going to run from January to February, so it's going to be the first show of the year. It's BNN TV's Neighborhood Art Gallery, and the deadline for submissions is December 1st. I know I'm springing it on you a little late, and it's just a few days late. There's no fee. This is a free thing, so if you're interested in showing your work here, we're asking for submissions. And the way to enter is to go to Arts, with an S, artsstudio99.com. If you go there, or you can give Janice, super producer Janice Williams, a call at 617-710-3811. We'll show you that, I'll give you that number again. Or you can email Janice at janice@artfulgift.com. We'd like to get your pieces in here and hung on the wall. There's only room for about 15 or 16 pieces, so do that now. I know that there's already some art that's been submitted, so I would like to get you involved. And also, there's a call out for anyone for people who want to be a sponsor. Not particularly this show, but we do this year round. So every couple of months we change it. Last month, you might remember, we had the South Boston Arts Association in here. It was unbelievable work. And we got to sit and talk to the great Dan McCole here and a couple of the other artists. And it's an opportunity for you to get your work out there. So we're asking sponsors to provide a gift certificate of some kind. Just something that, to get the people in here and get them involved in showing their work. So that's what that is. That's what's going on there. Something else that's happening is that we're back in the studio again. I know that there's one CD that's finished right now, and we're waiting for the release of it, but we do not sleep at Low Budget Records. There's another, we've already got guys that are coming in and doing some work. But this time it's a compilation of David Bowie work. Well, you know that in the past, Low Budget Records has done these big blockbuster compilations. We did the Beatles, Monkees, last time we did the Rolling Stones, but now we're asking people to do some David Bowie. So if you go to lowbudgetrecords.com, you can get some information on that. I mean, we're only asking people to submit the work that they've almost done. I mean, we'll master it. We'll get it to sound so it's on a cohesive album, so one piece isn't louder than another, or it doesn't sound the same, or stuff like that. So we'll put it through all of the ringers and all of the filters that we have at Low Budget Records to make everything sound pretty uniformed, which is the big idea. And we're going to be releasing that sometime in the spring, we hope. We hope, because this is the Rolling Stones. Was a huge project. We had about 34 different cuts on that, and pretty soon we're going to be doing it live, I believe, someplace, probably the Midway down in Jamaica Plain, or some club someplace where we all get together and have a good time and play some music together. But that's kind of what's going on with all of that. Now, I miss Amanda. I wish that she was here. I guess she's out doing some kind of thing somewhere, and I'm sure that it's an artful adventure, whatever it is that she finds she's doing. But I'll take this couple of minutes right now to talk a little bit about the arts in the city and in education. One of the things I think that's very, very important, and people, I know they feel strongly about it, but they may not quite understand how it works. There was a curriculum standard years ago called STEM, which, if you don't know what that was, it's science, technology, engineering, and math. And what you do is the teachers who are in those disciplines would get together and develop lesson plans that addressed all of those disciplines. So, for instance, they'd be doing something in science, and part of the engineering part would be laying out and doing a draft or doing a model of the solar system or of some kind of scientific experiment. And then the engineering part, of course, would be getting it all to work, putting it together. And obviously there's going to be math in there. And I think some educators along the line said, you know, it'd be really, really important or a great idea, because of what the arts do in education, is to include that in this kind of program, in this kind of curriculum development. So they came up with STEAM, which is science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. Now, everyone out there who's seen the program in the past knows that I'm an art teacher, and I've been teaching for about 10, 12 years now, since I retired from corporate America. I've been very, very fortunate to be the art teacher at a great school who is very innovative with the curriculum and really, really in tune with how we get our kids to be developmentally keen and prepared to move into some of these incredible high schools that we have in this area. One of the things that we've discovered is that once you give a kid an opportunity to be creative, and to not only be creative, but to learn and understand the philosophy and the technique and how the arts work, and learn some art history, it changes the way they think critically. Now, critical thinking is the ability to be able to look at a problem and kind of map it out and figure it out and put stages into the solution of whatever it is that have been addressed. And, you know, you say, oh, the arts are coloring and this and that and anything, but the arts are a lot more than that. The arts give a kid several things. One of the things that I've discovered over the years is it gives a kid success. It gives a child the opportunity to say, look what I did. Sure, in math class, 2 + 2 is 4. It's not as creative. The sciences, here it is. That's what it is. Engineering, of course, you have to be creative in order to do it. You know, technology, these cats today are going to be explaining to you about technology and how creative you have to be to get all that you know, can be successful in that field. But the arts touch all of those things because it gives a kid the confidence that they develop by being able to create things, by being able to, you know, it's not as easy as you think to make a real orange. It's not as easy as you think to make purple. It's not easy as you think to make all of these different secondary and tertiary colors, but when a 5- and 6-year-old kid does it, it's a success that they remember, and it stays with them. It gives them the confidence to know that when they get to math, yeah, I'm going to be able to figure this out too. So one of the things that is happening around in our communities and in our schools is a lot of those programs are shrinking. I know that the administration at City Hall is working feverishly with the great Judy Barrows and some great people in the city who are dedicated to making sure that the arts remain part of the educational foundation of our kids' education. But they are falling back. Sometimes they're falling back because of financial problems. So what we're looking for now is we're looking for people to become involved. Talk to your school. Find out what the arts program is. You know what the arts program is in some schools? The arts program is the homeroom teacher hands out crayons and pencils and paper and just lets the kids color landscapes or make flowers or draw the sun, and you know. But there's really not a written down curriculum for the kids doing art that's going to be also attached to their science. When they get to their science class, and when they get to their engineering class, and when they get to their math class, they get to say, oh yeah, I heard some of that in in my art class. So it kind of continues and sweeps the education. That's all. I just wanted to take that opportunity to make sure that everybody knows that the arts are an essential part of teaching and learning. The I can do it is huge. And I think that there are a lot of kids out there that are struggling through a lot of their subjects. And I think that if they know that they can be successful where the arts are involved, I think that, and I'm not just talking about visual, I'm not talking about painting and drawing, I'm talking about theater, I'm talking obviously music. You know, music, there's all kinds of elements that are attached to learning music, you know, the math and the engineering part of it, the whole thing, you know, understanding why is A minor the relevant minor to, you know, to C, you know, why did these things work the way they do? So, with that being said, I do want to take a couple of minutes to talk about the great organization that helps keep us on the air here. We're very, very proud of our affiliation with the Great Boston Main Streets program. Boston Main Streets is a program that was introduced to the city of Boston, 30 years ago, by then City Councilor Tom Menino, who became the great mayor of the city. And what he did was he brought this formula for redeveloping business districts to an urban setting. They were being used in these big mall type places and all of these kind of collection of stores and what have you. But now what they are is they're working, he brought it so that to try it out in an urban setting. And the formula and what they decided they wanted to do was they were going to make a board of directors, believe it or not, 21 people on the board of directors, where they would be broken into thirds. And a third of them would be residents, people who live in the community, people who are raising their families in that community, people who shop in that community. And then another third would be people who own businesses in those communities, people who are trying to put wares out there for people who need them, and making sure that they're servicing the community in the right way. And the other one was professionals, people like lawyers, and there'd be people who run different design organizations, people who run nonprofits, people who are, know how things are run, bankers, stuff like that. And what they'd do is they'd sit together once a month and they'd talk about the business district and what they need. Now, underneath that, there's a level underneath it where they would have, an economic development committee, which was more volunteers. And what they would do is they would do demographic work in the community to find out who's living there, who are the people that are living in this community, and what they need. And they would take that information and they would give it to the people who owned the buildings that had stores in them and let them know what the best product downstairs would be, what would sell, what would flourish downstairs. The other committee would be a design committee, which they would be volunteers who are artists, designers, architects, graphic designers, people who can lay out the way a store is supposed to be. And those people would work with the business once they moved into these storefronts. And little history, Rosendale Square was the very first one, and 60% of the businesses were empty and all boarded up and had, grates down, and it was a very unappealing place to visit. So you want to make it look better, you want to make it look appealing to people, so these design people would come in, and one of the things that they offered was that they would pay for half of the design of the signs and to get the place all nice and looked up if you got rid of the grates. Now think about having your personal business and your family business in a storefront, and you want to protect it because everything's in there. Everything is sunk into this business that you have. Your house has been mortgaged to make sure it works. The kids are, getting only 2 presents or whatever, so you want to protect it. But it took us a leap of faith for a couple of the businesses to say, okay, I'll take that half of the cost and I'll take the grates down. Lo and behold, no one broke in. No one burnt the places down, and people kind of respected the community the way it was. So that went on, and it started to grow and started to grow. The other thing they do is they have a promotions committee. Now, the promotions committee is as important as any of the committees because what they do is they put events on, concerts in the park, taste of this, taste of that, the tree lighting, egg hunts, whatever, the concerts, whatever was going on, to bring people down into those designated areas to help revitalize the business districts. Well, they've been at it in Rosendale for over 30 years, and like I say it all the time, and I'm sorry if I'm boring you, but if someone had told me 20 years ago that people would be standing in line to go into a restaurant in Rosendale Square, I'd have told you were crazy. But that is the case today. And it's not just in Rosendale, it's in 22 other neighborhoods around the city of Boston and outreaching right across the United States. It is the way to develop a underdeveloped business district. So we want to thank Main Streets for all of their support here at BNN. They don't just support this show, they support the whole organization here. Speaking of the organization here, this great building we're in, guys, you know what this building used to be? It used to be the power station. Now, if anyone's old enough to remember the orange line that ran from Forest Hills to downtown Boston, this is where they got the electricity. There were 3 big generators in here humming all the time, providing electricity for those trains that used to run down Washington Street, elevated down into downtown Boston from Forest Hills. And technology caught up with them, and they didn't need these kind of power stations anymore, so they kind of sat here and was by itself and deserted for many, many years. The great Curtis Henderson and people with the city and people with BNN TV decided that it would be Mike Lynch. Mike Lynch was behind this thing from the word go, making sure that this building was going to be dedicated to community access. We built this building out, and what it is now, it's your television station. It's your radio station. It's where you can come and do programming just like this. A nonprofit can come and sit here with a guest and talk all about what they do, what their mission is, what different kinds of things they want to accomplish in the community, what kind of services they want to get out there. So this is the place where they'd come and do that. On the other side of BNN is Channel 23, where people come and they take their classes, they learn how to use these amazing cameras. We have great camera people here. We got a great camera person today. She goes to school locally. She's here learning how to do television. This is live TV. So if I fall off to the side, she's got to find me and all that stuff she can figure out. But this is where you come and learn how to do that. There's a class right now in Studio A, full of people learning how to use these cameras, how to do lighting, how to do sound, how to make sure that everything is done. Those people, once they finish those classes, can go downstairs and sign out these amazing cameras, go out into the community, go out to the Orenburger and shoot a class that's going out there, shoot a basketball game, bring all the video back here and edit it downstairs in our state-of-the-art Timothy Smith lab, which has these amazing Mac and Apple computers. Check it out on your way out, guys. It's amazing. And then they'll put it on TV for you. So if you're interested in doing any of that kind of thing, what you got to do is you got to go to www.bnntv.org. Click on Jim Atwood's name. The only reason I say Jim Atwood is because Jim has been through everything here at BNN, at Community Access. He's one of the original cats when they first started this stuff back in 1904. Well, not quite that long ago. But he has all the answers, and he can direct you into the people that are going to get you to get your membership here so that you can get in here and do some television programming. It's easy to sit at home and say, oh, I'd do it that way. I wouldn't do it this way. But it takes another step for you to get in here, and this is where you can come and do that. This is where that opportunity lies. So well, I think I've said enough. That's enough for me. Listen, we got some couple of great guests. These guys have been working hard, and they're excited to be here. I think you're really going to enjoy this. We're going to talk about how you get it started, how you get an app started, what's the purpose behind it, how you can get involved. And it's about the community centers. It's the community centers. They're dotted all over the city, and it's the mayor's office way of making sure that there's programming out in the community. So listen, gang, you're watching BNN TV's It's All About Arts. My name is Glenn Williams. I'm your host. We're coming to you live from Studio B. We're going to take a short break, and then we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Don't go away.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Dream come true. Hopes of life. soul. It's rock and roll. It's rock and roll will set you free.
Well, welcome back, gang. Thanks an awful lot for hanging in there with us. That was rock and roll by, I guess it was Casey Williams back then in the old days from Low Budget Records. Next week we're going to have some new stuff. I know I keep saying that. I keep promising everybody we're going to bring some new stuff in, but we're going to some new rock and roll from the cats at Low Budget Records. Listen, I want to remind everybody, please go and to our Facebook page. We're going to be posting this show up there pretty soon, not too long, maybe a week or so from now, once we catch up with all of that. So you'll be able to check this show out at another date if you want to see it again, which I'm sure you will. I mean, or if there's somebody that might have missed it that you think needs to see it, please make sure you let them know. And that Facebook page is It's All About Arts, which is kind of cool. You know, it's neat to have that. But right now, it's my great pleasure and honor to introduce you to Kyle Cologne. Hello, Kyle.
How you doing, sir?
Thank you very much for coming in.
It's a pleasure.
And Chris Michael.
Pleasure's all mine.
It's my pleasure. Thank you guys for coming in. I do appreciate it. You guys have developed an app. Now, you know, an app is kind of new terminology, is it kind of? I mean, it's an app that goes on your phone, right?
Yeah.
Is it something I can have on my tablet too and stuff?
Yep.
Now, let's go back a little bit. Are you guys affiliated with any particular community center?
I would say the Armberger Community Center.
The Orenburger, how long have you cats been there?
I personally worked there for 6 years.
Okay.
I've been there since I was like 5.
So you know the Orenburger well?
Yeah, very well. Went to school.
Oh, you went to school there? Are you a Rossi guy?
We all live around
You
there.
both,
so,
both a Rossi guy? Good, I'm glad.
So we live like 10 seconds away from there. So.
Yeah, I'm down on Belgrade Ave, right up from Rossi Square. So I'm kind of in the middle of the community too, you know. And I've always been. I love Rosendale. It's a great place. That's where our studio is, and all of that jazz. What was it about the community centers? You guys are both veterans. You guys know exactly how everything works in there. What gave you this idea that the communication needed a little boost?
Well, we noticed as a whole. First, we were gonna be like a T-shirt company.
Okay.
But then we moved on to what's the actual problem we're facing here today, live. And me personally, I know like I lose friends a lot. Within the year and a half, I've lost a lot of good friends, like Mason Raymond, and just this past year was
You're talking about lost for good.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Thank you. It's been a battle, but you know, seeing what we have today, what we have for the teens is a great way for them to not go what I went through or anybody else like me to go through. It's just a great tool where teens can stay connected to their community center or any other community center around Boston.
Is the community center offering? Are you happy with what they're offering? I know that there's a lot of teen programming, and we're going to talk a little bit. You cats put on a great basketball thing, the tournament that you guys raised some money for this whole thing, right? Is the community center servicing our youth enough? I mean, you guys can probably be the ones to answer that.
Yeah, of course. All community centers, they have like great resources and tools. There's a bunch of activities and programs and events that our community centers in Boston host, and they have. But the problem was it wasn't reaching youth like us. Okay. So I guess kind of how like we all started was we started through United Way, which came to each community center in Boston. It was like they wanted to start an entrepreneurial program called Youth Venture, where they wanted each community center to attack a problem in their community. And our mentor, Mike, was a great man. I always say I love this man. he kind of came to us and he challenged us, and he sat us down and was trying to figure out, what are some of the issues that you guys have in your community, and how can you change that? And that's when we started realizing was that, initially this year we just had in the Lamoureux Community Center, shout out to Patty, Judy, we just had a new teen center and we had a new multimedia class, but nobody was really coming into it.
Yeah.
And we really sat down and challenged why that was happening.
Was it outreach, do you think?
The problem with the outreach was the outreach that community centers use right now is like flyers. So you have to really come into the community center and you have to read a bulletin board, or you have to get this flyer somehow. And I know youth like us, if it's not on my if it's not on my phone, it's not reaching me.
Right.
So that's when we started thinking of different ways of how we could get that information out there. And
So you saw a bridge, and you decided to work on a way to bridge that, to get
bridge that gap.
Bridge that gap. I mean, you're right. Flyers.
Yeah.
It's almost like word of mouth. That's not going to work these days. But if you do look around, everybody's got something going on here. When you said, Carl, when you said it's time to do an app, we're going to do an app. Did you kind of look at each other and go, okay? Now what?
Well, first we were gonna be information based on a website.
Yeah.
But then we just moved on to where I know some teams don't have laptops and stuff like that, so we moved on to where can they mobilely access it? Say if they're on the bus and they want to have something to do Saturday night, it's 6:30, and then they can just log on to the app, see a program event near them, and then actually go to that event, whether it's a basketball tournament, party, or wherever the community center is holding it.
That's great.
So I guess the idea is we want to prove that the concept worked. So again, like Kyle said, we started off as a website where we had those informations, and then not only are we a resource, but I guess the second aspect of what we do is youth engagement, where we're not only preaching, hey, come to a community center and come to this program where, let's say the community center only offers arts and craft or something like that, which they don't. They offer a ton load of information, but we decided that we would also host events that we knew that would attract a large amount of teens on a given day. So example, we started off with our basketball tournament at the Lamoureux Community Center, where we held a tournament. We had 16 teams competing against each other.
That's big.
Yeah, it was great. It was our first experience.
Were they different teams from different parts of the city?
We had people from all around.
Where did you have it? Was it at the Orenburg?
It was at the Lamoureux Community Center.
That's a good room to have it in. They have a nice good room.
Stuff like that.
It was great. And we had 16 teams competing. We had 100 spectators.
That's great.
Yeah, it was a great turnout, especially for our first tournament. It was a great turnout. So we started, and then after that, we started realizing that we started gaining kind of more traffic. We had more people trying to figure out who we were and who the Armburger was. So that's when we kind of realized that what we were doing, the concept actually works. That if we host these events and we provide this information, we can gauge youth engagement more in these community centers. So that's when kind of we pitched this idea with United Way. We got some funding from them, and that's when we moved on to a mobile application where it'd be more user-friendly, where you don't just have to go on a website and figure out where it was, but you can actually interact with this mobile application where it'll, pick up your GPS location automatically. And it's just a little bit a lot friendlier than browsing to a website.
Right. Now, Carl, you hit on something earlier in our conversation that I kind of want to jump back to a little bit. The unfortunate dangers of living in the city. There's lots of unfortunate opportunities for all of us to have run into this. I've lost friends too.
Yeah. Okay.
I may be an older dude, but I've lost friends to all kinds of different things. Street violence has been some of it. Do you feature anything on your app where if there's one of our younger citizens that needs to get to talk to somebody, that needs to get someplace safe, that this is something that they can go to and say, well, the Rosendale Community Center is right around the corner, and Officer Elvis is going to be there, and I'm going to go over and just kind of have someplace to be?
Well, we actually talked about that. Actually, implementing in the app guidance.
Yeah.
Basically, because I know for me, I don't like to talk about what happened.
Yeah.
So I like to keep it inside. So for teens to keep it inside, it's not a good idea. So we actually talked about implementing where they can actually talk to a guidance person or somebody that can knows what they've been through or struggle with what they've been through and actually help them sort it out like that.
How interactive is the app? Is there an opportunity for me to kind of put, hey, I'm Glenn. Is there a blog I can get onto? Can I ask a question or anything like that?
Well, it's very very diverse from other apps. So like you guys, say if you select the Lamoureux Community Center as your home community center,
Yeah.
you can actually talk with people within that community center. So you can like, oh, let's pick up a 3-on-3 basketball tournament, or hey, you want to talk or something like that.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it's a very interactive app where people just can stay logged on.
You cats
stay
still in
intertwined.
school?
Yeah.
Where are you
Yes.
going?
Oh, I go to Wentworth University.
Where?
Wentworth
You're a
University.
Wentworth guy.
Yeah, I went for computer science.
We were talking about engineering a minute ago. That's great.
I'm a Wentworth guy.
How about yourself?
Well, I'm a senior at West Roxbury Academy.
You're at West Roxbury?
Yeah.
Really? Rudy Weeks is a good guy.
Yes, he is. He
You know,
actually helped us a lot.
He's a good guy, and he's nice. Mark's a nice guy too. Those are two gentlemen you guys should be in touch with. I'm on their Perkins board over there. I get to go every once a year. I've been sorry, Rudy. I'll see you. Talk to you soon. But those kinds of people, those kinds of leaders, the people that are running the Orenburger Community Center, that you kind of turn to. What's their reaction to this? Because it's not something they came up with, is it?
No, I mean I can
I'll say it. It's not something they came up with.
No, according to Patty, she's amazing.
Yep.
She has her back 130%.
Yep.
If anybody causes her a problem, she's the first one to jump in. She's amazing. I hope she should be watching right
We all
now.
need someone like her.
No, she's beyond amazing. She's helped us all along the way. And we've had great help. We had Mike, Sam, just a bunch of people who've been helping us along the way.
Yeah.
And giving us this guidance and push. Again, everybody that we tell to, they love the idea.
Right.
Again, our basic mission statement is keeping kids off the streets and bring them into like the safe havens in our community centers.
That's great.
Again, the story that my friend here, Kyle, shared. We don't want to see that happen to anybody.
No.
And we definitely want to see that, especially the time and age we are now, is how can we change that? And we know this community centers, it's right there for us, and we just need to know how to use it.
It's a resource that's available, and I think by making sure that it's on everybody's phone,
Yep.
all the cats at the Orenburger, all the people in East Boston, all the people wherever there's a community center, and there's how many of them?
There's 33 right now.
33 community centers, so there's not an opportunity for you to say, I can't get there.
Yeah. But the idea is that it's scalable. So the same issues that we see happening in Boston, why is it happening in New York or Texas or even China?
Yeah.
The idea is we want to bring this all around the world. It's not
Yep.
to keep it in Boston, but to have an OCC Youth Unleashed team everywhere where we can have.
But what? Say it again.
OCC Youth Unleashed, that's our name. OCC Youth
Say
Unleashed.
it again.
OCC Youth Unleashed. Yeah.
Oh, Youth Unleashed.
Yes.
Unleashed.
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 Yes. We're basically unleashing the teens back into the
Make
community
sure
centers.
everyone gets the name right.
Yeah.
Because if they're gonna get on the site, that's the only way they're gonna do it. You've got some images for us to see, so we can kind of see how the site looks,
Yeah.
right?
So that right there is
There it is, right here. Yep.
that's our kind of like a flyer of our new app that we just launched.
Yeah.
It actually launched on Thanksgiving Day, which was amazing.
Yeah, perfect.
So we finally got it out, and it's just like a quick little explanation of what it does and how you can use it. And I think the next screenshot basically is like 4 main screenshots of important features of our application. Where the first one is just like the home screen, where each of those little waypoints, they're little kind of like blue dots,
Yep.
shows.
Looks like a Google map, right?
Yeah, it's based off Google Maps.
So the red one will be where I am, right?
Yep, the red
And I
one's-
can see right by looking at that I'm right next to a community around the corner.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Okay.
I think there's a green waypoint, which is actually the Boys and Girls Club in Brighton.
Yeah.
Which the idea is to branch out not only community centers, but
Yeah, I worked for the
East West,
Boys and Girls Club for years. Yeah.
Boys and YMCA's. We want to branch out everywhere.
Get them all.
Basically any youth-oriented
Yeah,
program.
perfect.
So right now we currently have all 33 Bistro centers on there.
Great.
You can click on any of those waypoints and you can get like GPS navigation to them, or you can hit. You'll get like their name, their address, the hours of operation.
Okay.
You can hit like events or programs with the second.
Second screen is a list of programs at
Yep.
that particular. Yep.
So that's displaying the Armored Community Center. Again, if you click on any one of those, you can plug in all the details of
Right.
that event or program.
Now the last one looks like almost like an email. Was that like a communication? where
Yep, that
people
was
can-
the social messaging we were speaking on earlier.
Yeah.
So let's say you want to interact with somebody that's in Brighton, but you want to go to
Awesome.
I don't know, Hyde Park Community Center.
Yep.
And you want to show people. Let's have a quick pickup game.
Yeah, yeah.
You can interact with people using the app right then and there. Or if you want to comment on a program event, or you want to let your friends know that you're going to one,
Right,
you can do
right.
it right on the application itself.
What kind of support? I know Patty's behind it. I know that you've heard from different people from different community centers. What kind of support and enthusiasm? People enthusiastic about this?
The commissioner, everybody's behind us 100%.
Well, this is great.
And they want to see it succeed as much as possible.
Right.
And that's our goal, is just keeping it engaged and out there as much. We want to market it and push it out. The idea is to let the youth know that there's a resource.
And there's no
out there for them.
cost. You just have to kind of log in, get a username, and you're in, right?
100% free.
You're part of it. Now, is it better to be like you were saying earlier, to be your base community center is Rosendale Community Center? So that's kind of where I would start and branch out from there.
Yep. So the idea is kind of like, if there's a community center that you really want to know the most about, you can choose that community center. That way you'll get the most up-to-date information on that community center. But that doesn't limit you. You can still figure out any information on any community center throughout Boston.
Now, I'm kind of tech savvy a little bit, but developing an app. I mean, we ran for years Open Studios, and we had developed an app where people could find out where they were and stuff. Not near the kind of information that you guys are talking about. What goes into deciding how it's going to look and which direction you're going to go? You know, how do you come up with that?
So the idea was, when we initially started, we started off by we used these two websites called Freelancer and Elance.
Okay.
Where we pushed out our idea as well as the functionalities that we wanted, how we wanted to, and then the idea is you get proposals back from developers or companies. When we pushed it out, we actually got like over 100 proposals.
So someone think it's a good idea.
Yeah. So we had to sit down, go through all of them.
Yeah.
We kind of chose the top 3 that we decided, and then from there we figured out, we nailed down that one person or company that we wanted. We actually picked one, and then from there we communicate all the time. We would give them.
But they're helping you develop it.
Yeah, they're
I mean, that's kind of their gig, right?
Yep. So we basically give them let's say designs, functionalities. They come back to us in a set amount of time.
Yeah.
And they we either approve, disapprove, and then we go from there. So it's kind of like a cycle. Initially, we had planned this to take about 32 days, and we ended up going at least 2 months and a half.
It takes time.
And that's only because we're really, really picky. Like, we wanted to make sure this was a tool that would be easy to use. There would be no issues at all.
Yeah, the last thing you want is someone to go to it, find it difficult, and not come back.
Yeah, exactly.
That is the cool thing.
Yep, that's the whole idea.
How busy is it?
What do you mean as busy?
Like running.
Yeah, how many are the cats using it? No, are the cats online right now?
Oh, we just dropped it this Thanksgiving.
Oh, it just launched.
Yeah,
3 days ago. 4
we
days
haven't
ago.
been marketing as much as we're doing like a soft launch.
Right.
So we're trying to get as many community centers
This
active
is a
on that as
great.
possible.
You should get on community access and talk about it. Maybe people. Oh, wait a minute. That's what we're doing right now. Lost myself for just a second there.
That's fine.
Well, this is very exciting. I want to congratulate you guys. Say hi to Rudy if you see him, Mr.
I
Weeks.
will.
Don't call him Rudy.
I know he doesn't like that as much.
But what are you studying at Wentworth?
Computer science.
Computers. But of course, right? What else would you be doing? Listen, guys, I want to thank you both very much for
Pleasure,
coming
no,
in. No, really.
it
Is
was
there
amazing.
anything else you want to get out there? I mean, who's the better at basketball? Who plays better?
Is
Sure.
I just got the height.
It is. He's just tall. That's all, right? Tell me about the tournament. Is there another one coming up? Is there anything we got to know for the future? What's Orenberger up to these days?
Well, after the first basketball tournament, a lot of people were asking, "When's the next event? When's the next event?"
That's a good sign.
Yeah, no. What else are you hosting? Like, they were very interactive. Everybody on the basketball tournament, I could say about nearly everybody was off their feet.
Yeah.
So it was like a great turnout especially for our first event.
Yeah.
Just to see that excitement and thrill in the teens.
Yeah.
And the attendees that were there, it was just an amazing experience. Not only for me, but for people that were there. And the next event we actually hosted was a party.
Yeah.
Parties can get out of control, but we made sure every detail was covered. We had youth workers, right?
Yeah.
We had a police detail, metal detector wand, so like everybody felt safe.
Yeah.
Nobody brought bags.
See, it's not always that, it's feeling safe. Not going, you go to a party and you know there's going to be a lot of kids from around the city there, and you know that it's going to be whatever, but if you feel safe getting into that place, it changes the tone of the party. It's no longer now just little clusters of people kind of checking each other out. Now you kind of know everyone's there to have a good time, to celebrate something, whatever it be, dance or whatever, So I think that's great. It's a great thing. Have you gone? You're going to be going around to the different community centers and kind of saying, "Look what I got for you."
Yeah, we actually been like sending out emails, calls, all that.
That's great.
Actually, like going to the actual community centers ourselves.
So they already back us like 100%. Right now we're working on getting all up-to-date information on there with all community centers.
Yeah.
But we do have a good amount already.
Right.
So the idea is the next few weeks we want to make sure that 100% of that data is ready for the youth right now.
That's good. Well, thank you guys once again. I want to thank you very much.
Amazing. Go ahead.
Pleasure's been all
No,
ours.
really, it's been. Listen, come back. Don't be strangers. Why don't you come on back at some point and let us know how it's going?
Definitely. Thank you.
Because I think that to talk about a launch is one thing, but next time when you're back after the new year, maybe it's something we'll be talking about. We don't have enough broadband. I mean, that would be the thing to do. And oh, by the way, we're going ad free.
Oh, I even forgot to say the name of our app. It's Unleashed on the Apple Store. We have Android coming real soon, so we'll just wait on that.
Is it just for Apple now?
We're just right now. In a few more weeks, we'll have our Android version.
Careful, you might find me joining that just to see what's going on.
But it's Unleashed.
You want Unleashed?
Yeah.
Listen, you want to say goodnight with us? Okay, because we're going to get out of here. There's another great show. The Greek program's up next. And they've got some big things happening. Gowns and fashion shows and all kinds of stuff. But everyone's Thanksgiving was great.
Yeah, it's amazing. Ate
My
well.
mom made some good food, man.
I'll bet. My wife is amazing, too. Listen, gang, thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. This is the kind of thing that's not talked about around the city very often. We're always hearing about our younger citizens getting into this, getting into that, and we never enough say things like, we've got two cats here who are thinking of their fellow kids and thinking about their city and thinking about safety and finding innovative ways to battle a real problem in our city. Yeah. Congratulations, guys. You should be proud of yourselves. Listen, gang, get out there and do something artful for yourself. Visit the site. Go to our website. It's all about arts. And click on these cats' names, and this website's going to come up where it's going to kind of tell you what's going on. And like I like to say every week, please keep in the forefronts of your minds our mothers, fathers, sons and daughters, aunts and uncles, nieces and nephews on foreign soil. Please get out and do something artful. Do it for them. See you cats later. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.